All right, we are in YellBRo Dark, and as usual, I do my little themed ramble about a particular topic that falls, in my mind, falls into the dark category. Tonight, it's going to be revenge and redemption. But before I get started, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate Devon's journey to recovery, to helping victims of Africom, to Cohen Daly, the Australian boy. Also, help out and share and donate and all that shit. Some content creators, Stevie, aka Redneck Economics, Sleepy J, Buy Him a Coffee, and optionally, Ali Alexandra. All links in the description box. All right. This could be a tough one. I don't know. So the topic is revenge and redemption. And here is my weird attempt to. What's up, Steve Cutler? ICU, what's up? Pause. I'm stealing that ICU, just by the way. Uh, but here's my weird attempt to not only describe, define, and hopefully be able to apply it to something. Because that's, although I find those other parts very important, that seems to be like the one most people would look at the most. Uh, let's try to go with definitions and or descriptions. Let's start with revenge. I would define revenge as I would define revenge as an egotistical notion of justice, and justice implies morality, but morality isn't morality without a moral core happening. When I do an act of revenge, I'm missing that part of well meaning, or meaning well, right? That's missing, which is my moral barometer, which I've gone into in other videos. Maybe I'll make a full one at some point. But it's when that well meaningness is missing from the action, which means it's not actually justice, which means it's just egotistical self serving. In fact, you might not even read the other person's scenario, what's exactly going on with them, because you're going off this egotistical notion without the full process. And this is where redemption comes in. Redemption is something that's supposed to happen before you reach moments to where someone could possibly enact revenge. You do some type of work, right? And then you do the existential, psychological, metaphysical work to where you learn all of your faculties, and then you have the ability to recognize the other. Because it's kind of like you'd have the ability, it's like, it's almost like a mirror of yourself in a way. So when you see someone do something that's maybe horrible in the world, instead of saying bad action, here's a bad thing in response to it, or here's something you won't like in response, which would be the revenge. As opposed, it's like stepping back. It's like, okay, oh, not only do I see the action you did, but now I can see looking behind your back, and I can see breadcrumbs of how this might have happened. No pauses to, which now enacts something like all to where you, as a person who could have taken revenge of just, action, reaction, it's action, observing it, assessing the person, doing all that fucking work because you already did it before you got there. And now you're working towards a quote unquote solution instead of strictly, let's be real, ego satisfying justice. Not actually justice. But the ego gives itself the notion that it's justice. So those are kind of my little definitions or descriptions of these things. Now, how are they applied? typically here we go into politics because more people are in the politics, but I can pull this into many different avenues. No pauses. But on a political level, I see this a lot in regards to how do we deal, like, how do we come up with solutions for this or that? I hear those questions a lot, or I even hear people announcing straight up, like, this is the solution for it. Or, uh, kind of implying that this is the solution for this or that fucking thing in the world, problem in the world. But there always seems to be, in my opinion, and I probably annoy people with this, there seems to be a problem. There seems to be something missing from these solutions. And for me, it's the full diagnosis of the fucking problem. The redemption process. It's where you looked at yourself, look throughout all your faculties, and if this is true, this is my notion, my woo-woo notion, you disagree if you want, that we all have everything within us. And what I mean by that is, I mean that on an archetypal level, not I'm Brad, and I'm Jan, and I'm Kenny. Oops, they killed Kenny. Nah. But we have all of these archetypal faculties within us. Thus, we can recognize the faculties outside of us just by observing our own faculties. Even more, like, archetypal would be more like a person, recognizing personalities maybe. But you can even go somewhere to like, whoa, I'm human and I have an ego, a superego, a persona, a shadow, a subconscious, a heart, a self, all that shit. An anima, animus. And if I'm saying that's human, and I'm like, huh, if they're human too, then they have these faculties as well. Now I can observe myself to maybe understand what are possible layers, maybe different iterations of the same type of layers. That's my woo-woo notion. Once again, you can disagree with it. But since I went through that process of knowing these things, now I can make more of a diagnosis of a problem I see. And like I've said before, once you truly diagnose it, that is the solution is there. It is inherent in once you truly recognize what the problem is. That's my belief, at least. That's the way it's worked for me. So instead of saying person A murdered person B, or person A is a murderer, instead of just going with that, you dig into the details of person A full diagnosis. Meaning, like, oh, this is what happened when they were a kid, or a young person, or even an adult. Here's the traumas they might be going through. Here's the lack of affection that maybe they had in life. Here's the environment they grew up in. To where, like, maybe murdering was just normal. On and on, all of those faculties. People think I dismiss the material of things. I do not. It's just not the only thing there. There's plenty more things to diagnose. But once I diagnose all of those factors, the solution is right there. It's inherent. But hey, Bob, or hey, person A, why'd you do this? Well, where I'm from, when someone does this to you, you do this to them. Like, oh, and if you find out that's true, it's like, oh, there's your problem right there. Now, how do we address that? Oh, that sounds like conditioning. But I also have my own principles. Just mean I'm not going to go in and try to change their mind around for them, or manipulate them, or propagandize them, or try to condition them to be more towards my type of thinking. But I can say, hey, you were telling me that you were conditioned in this direction. You were conditioned this way. How do you know you're actually into that? How do you know that's what you would actually want unless you know yourself? I'm not saying come towards my way, but What do you truly think? Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever observed those thoughts to where you're breaking down, this person is breaking down their own psyche to build it back up? Now, if they build it back up and it's like, no, I'm all right with this. I'm all right with just killing. It's like, fuck. I'm going to have to stand against you every fucking time. I doubt that would happen, though, in my opinion. But, you know, I got to stay true to the principles I believe in. Yes. So, there you go. The, the real diagnosis, as basic as that example was, that diagnosis gave me the solution inherently within it. It's kind of obvious once you actually understand what the problem is. No, it's kind of blatant. Like a doctor being able to, like, I put an X-ray on you and I see, okay, your leg's broken right there. Like, oh, within inherently in diagnosing it, there's the solution to it. Oh, broken leg in this particular spot, right? It's broken this type of way, and it needs to be put back into place this type of way. There's my, okay, I need to find a way to move the bone back together like this and hold it in place. You're factoring in all these other things of like, oh, pain, right? You're doing a full diagnosis, full assessment, and it's all pulling the solution right together. Like, I think that's so fucking important to do. Then on the other hand, I know I went off on a full spiel there, but on the other hand, there's this notion of revenge. And if I already said this revenge thing is like it's like a 1-for-1 type of thing. Action and reaction. It's not even deeply thought about. It can be. It can be, but it doesn't go deeper than the ego. It gets scary there, because then I got to ask questions like, "This is okay? Is this the right thing? Am I actually reading this correctly? How do I know I'm not crazy?" These questions pop up as you sink deeper into the recesses of your psyche if they have not been addressed yet. Probably even if you have addressed them, these questions can still be there, right? Because there's still constant content flying in. No pause. But yeah, revenge is likely to stay on the egotistical surface. And someone brought this up to me. I think it was Chip who brought it up to me. It was Chip who brought up the notion of the criminal justice system. And you tell me if that isn't revenge. They try to mask it with justice, but come on, guys. Someone did an action. It doesn't matter what you went through in childhood, unless it's like made you clinically crazy. That's the only time they care. If it's just something like, well, his dad beat his wife, and his dad's dad beat his wife, and his dad's dad beat his wife, and then you beat your wife, like, you're still going to fucking jail. You don't get to claim insanity for that. Like, oh, you're just another asshole. That he narrowed the person down. That's what the criminal justice system is telling you. They're whittling down what a human is to this basic level of what action you did, instead of the entire picture of what the person is. Thus, no solution is met. Thus, expect more wife beatings, more murders, more rapes, more kidnappings, more all of it. Because you didn't get to the core of the thing, because you didn't look at the person as a whole. Said, crime? Okay. Jail. We wrote down rules. You go 9 years. You go 12 years. You go 15. You go for life. That's revenge. That's a revenge system, not a justice system. Justice is like, we're going to find the way so this never happens again. Even if we fail, we will keep fucking trying. This will never fucking happen again. Instead, it's, what is it? Momentary, instant gratification. And it's not even that. Because someone was victimized. The only gratification I probably see is like from like lawyers who big case, or I don't know, judges. My first case as a judge, yeah. Jurors who walk away who feeling like they did the right thing. That can happen with lawyers too, and judges and all. Or a guy going, "Whew, vindicated." So yeah, that's a good reference. The criminal justice system. It's like a revenge system. I don't see where they're really digging into like what is the actual problem here. Why is like, do we think the judge is sitting there? Like, does any of us think that? Maybe very, very few and far between. I even doubt that. I don't even know of how many judges are sitting there doing case by case every fucking day or every so often or whatever, and they're like, man, why do I keep seeing murderers in front of me all the fucking time? Why does this keep happening? Shut your mouth, Matt Hunter. Gonna say genetics. But it's like all it does is the buck just gets passed from this generation to the next, to the next, to the next, repeating, kind of like what the wife beater guy was doing, right? I was just following what my dad did. My dad did what my dad did. My dad did. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just doing what the previous judge taught me, and the previous judge taught him, and the previous judge taught him. Where's anyone going through that redemption process towards like, excuse me, Mr. Judge. I'm not a judge. I'm Jordan. How you doing? What's going on here? Like just dressing down both lawyers and shit. Like, is that your defense for him? You're not even asking about like what he went through in life to how he even got here. Here's a little thought experiment. I don't know if this is gonna work out in words or not. I hope it does. I don't think it'll work. Maybe. I mean, if you take like a person, put him in a time machine, or no, take a person from whatever years ago, thousands of years ago, and he committed murder, right? And then you bring him to today's world and put him in our criminal justice system. Would they read him as insane? Forget about him saying like I came from the past, the time machine and pyramids and all that shit. Forget about that. Just his reasoning for why he did it. Like, wow, this person's crazy. Did it because they're crazy. Meanwhile, a modern man might be like, listen, life is kicking my ass. I just got fired. I got her yapping at me, so I fucking hit her. Go back whatever thousands of years ago. Like, whatever. I don't know. What would they say? She didn't pray on the right day. The Lord's God did not like her. Like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. Like, come on, guys. Just based on the relativity alone, right? Because, right, it's fucking kings and shit, whatever, years ago, were marrying fucking 10-year-olds and shit. They'd be like, you guys are going to jail. Oh, but I was made by God, handcrafted by God. Meanwhile, no diagnosis of the actual problem. I mean, I hope I painted enough of a picture to get where I'm coming from about it. No pauses. And I hope it can be applied some degree to. I mean, it's going to sound like similar things over from each topic to each topic. Right? Hey, know thyself. But I have to kind of repeat it every time that you can see. It's harder to see the be yourself part. It's much easier to see like this is why this sucks. That's my opinion. That's what I think. And it's simpler to see this is why this sucks. But the other part can be a little more difficult, which is why YellBRo Dark is so easy to do. YellBRo Lite's so difficult. No pause. I mean, easier and more difficult for me to like explain. But yeah, there it is. There's my ramble. Don't forget to subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think. What the Make it rain. I'm not gonna lie, I flinched. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I was like, fuck was that? Ed, thank you. Thank you, Ed, for the $7. Make it rain, baby. Yeah. Thank you, Ed. On that note, don't forget to share, support, and hopefully donate to Devon's Journey to Recovery. My name's not Devon, it's Jordan. These are all charities. Devon's Journey to Recovery, helping victims of Africom. I live in the U.S., not Africa, so it's not helping me either. Cohen Daly, the Australian boy. He lives in Australia. I live in the U.S. I have to like justify everything I say. People are gonna be like, yeah, Devon. What are you doing, Devon? Like, that's not my name. Greek, bro. Sorry. $7 ramble. That's right. Thank you, Steve Cuddy. But yes, please donate to Devon's Journey to Recovery, to helping victims of Africom. Cohen Daly, the Australian boy. Also, how about some content creators, Stevie, aka Red Economics, Sleepy J, Buy My Coffee, and optionally, if you feel like, to The Snail, Ali Alexandra. All links in the description box. With all that said, get some revenge on YouTube. Give this video a thumbs down.